The wise Dabshalim began his teaching by speaking about the poison of slander through the story of the lion and the bull, which shows how the reign of a leader can collapse from within simply because he has made himself a prisoner of slander and deception. Then he continued with the story of the father and his 3 sons to show how a human being can succeed in leading others and succeed in his life without surrendering to fatalism, laziness, or giving up action. Finally, he told the story of the man who fled from the wolf and the thieves, a man who had seen the great dangers and had worked to avoid them, yet whose downfall did not come from those visible threats. It came from what he had underestimated and in which he had placed excessive trust. And now the moment has come to enter the universe of Kalila and Dimna. We will begin first with one of its essential stages, ambition. As for the bull, he had left the place where he was and set off. He remained in a fertile meadow, rich in water and grass. When he had grown fat and felt safe, he began to low and to raise his voice with his bellowing. Not far from there was a thicket where a great lion lived, king of that region, surrounded by many beasts of prey, wolves, jackals, foxes, panthers, and tigers. This lion made his decisions alone, without taking into account the opinion of any of his companions. When he heard the bull's bellowing, he who had never seen a bull nor heard its voice, for he remained fixed in his lair without moving from it or stirring, and his livelihood was brought to him each day by his soldiers. Among the wild beasts that surrounded him were 2 jackals. One was called Kalila, the other Dimna. Both were gifted with cunning, knowledge, and good breeding. Dimna then said to his brother Kalila, "My brother, what is happening to the lion that he remains like this, without moving or stirring?" Kalila replied to him, "And you, why do you question this matter? We stand at the door of our king. We accept what pleases him and leave aside what displeases him. We are not of the rank of those to whom it belongs to discuss the words of kings and to reflect on their affairs. So refrain from this, and know that whoever interferes, in word or deed, in what does not concern him, meets the fate of the monkey with the carpenter." Dimna said, "And how was that?" Kalila replied, "It is said that a monkey saw a carpenter splitting a piece of wood between 2 wedges, sitting astride it. The sight pleased him. Then the carpenter went away to attend to some other business. The monkey approached, wanting to imitate what was not his trade, mounted the piece of wood, turned his back toward the wedge and his face toward the plank. His tail hung down into the crack. He pulled out the wedge. The crack closed on his tail, and he fell to the ground unconscious. The blow he then received from the carpenter was even harsher than what he had suffered from the wood." Dimna said, "I have well heard what you have related, but know that whoever draws near to kings does not do so for his stomach. He approaches them in order to gladden the friend and to bring low the enemy. Among men, there are those who have no nobility. They are the ones who rejoice over little and are content with inferior things, like the dog who finds an old dry bone and rejoices over it. As for people of merit and true nobility, the little does not satisfy them, and they do not content themselves with it until their soul has risen toward that of which they are truly worthy, and which is in turn worthy of them, like the lion who devours the rabbit. But if a camel appears before him, he leaves the rabbit and goes after the camel. Do you not see that the dog wags his tail until one throws him a simple crust of bread? Whereas the elephant, who recognizes his own worth and strength, when his ration of fodder is brought to him, does not touch it until he has been caressed and flattered. Thus, the one who lives as a human being endowed with wealth, virtue, and generosity toward his own and his brothers, even if his life is short, his lifetime is in reality long. But the one whose life is spent in narrowness, lack, and stinginess toward himself and his own, the dead man in his grave is more alive than he. And the one who lives only for his stomach is content with that and abandons everything else, is counted among the beasts." Kalila said, "I have well understood what you say. Yet recover your good sense and know that every man has a rank and a worth. If he remains steadfast in the rank in which he finds himself, then he is worthy of being content with what he has. As for us, our rank is already humble. We do not risk falling lower than the situation in which we are." Dimna said, "Ranks are contested and divided according to the nobility of character. A man, through his nobility, is raised from a lower rank to a higher one, and he who lacks nobility lowers his own position from a high rank to a low one. To rise to an honorable rank is difficult, and to fall from it is humiliating. Like a large stone which is hard to lift from the ground up to the shoulder, but easy to let fall back to the ground. We are therefore more worthy than others of desiring what lies above us in terms of rank and of seeking it through our nobility. And how could we accept to be content with this when we are capable of leaving this state? Kalila said, "And to what conclusion has your opinion finally come?" Dimna said, "I want to take advantage of this opportunity to present myself to the lion, for the lion has a troubled mind. Perhaps in this situation, I will be able to draw near to him and obtain rank and consideration from him." Kalila said, "And what makes you believe that the lion is in confusion and no longer has the situation under control?" Dimna replied, "Through discernment and observation, I know it. A man of sound judgment recognizes the state of his companion and what is taking place within him from what is apparent in his bearing and his appearance." Kalila said, "How do you hope to obtain a rank with the lion when you are not a man of the court and have no experience in the service of rulers?" Dimna replied, "A robust and strong man does not find himself powerless before a heavy load, even if he is not used to carrying burdens, while a weak man is incapable of lifting it, even if that is his profession." Kalila said, "The ruler does not reserve his favor for the most virtuous among those who stand in his presence, but often prefers those who are closest and most familiar to him. It is said that in this regard, the ruler resembles the vine that climbs only upon the tree that stands nearest to it. How then do you hope to obtain a rank with the lion when you do not even approach him?" Dimna replied, "I have well understood all that you have said, and you speak truth. But know that the one who is close to the ruler, without truly deserving it, and who is not in the place that is fitting for him, is not like the one who approaches him after having been distant, and who truly has a right and a standing. I wish to earn their position by my efforts. It has been said, 'None remains assiduously at the door of the ruler except the one who sets aside his pride, bears injustice, masters his anger, treats people with gentleness, and keeps secrets. When such a man reaches this point, he has attained what he desired.'" Kalila said, "Suppose you do reach the lion. What then will be your particular merit in his eyes, through which you hope to obtain rank and favor?" Dimna replied, "If I could draw near to him and come to know his character traits, I would know how to follow him gently and avoid contradicting him. When he desired something that is in itself right, I would adorn it for him, encourage him to carry it through, and make him understand the good and the benefit it contains. I would stir him to persevere until his joy therein increases. And if he desired something that contains harm and ugliness, I would show him, as far as I could, what benefit and beauty there is in abandoning such a plan. By this, I hope to gain greater standing with the lion, and that he will see in me what he does not find in another. For the cultivated and skillful man, if he wished, could render a right ineffectual or give force to a wrong, like the expert painter who draws figures upon the walls which seem to stand out in relief while they do not emerge from the wall, and others which seem hollow while they are not." Kalila said, "Whether you say this or something else, I fear for you the frequentation of the ruler, for his company is dangerous. The scholars have said there are 3 things to which no one exposes himself except in folly, and from which very few emerge unscathed: keeping company with the ruler, entrusting secrets to women, and drinking poison in order to test it." The scholars have compared the ruler to a steep and rugged mountain, upon which there are delicious fruits, precious jewels, and useful remedies, but which is also the lair of wild beasts, panthers, wolves, and all that is dangerous and terrifying. To climb it is difficult. To remain there is even more so. Dimna said, "You are right in what you say, but whoever does not brave dangers never attains desirable things, and whoever gives up an undertaking in which he might perhaps fulfill his need, out of fear and apprehension of what might result from it, will never achieve anything great. It has been said, there are 3 enterprises that no one can undertake without the help of high ambition and great courage: serving the ruler, trading upon the sea, and confronting the enemy in battle. The scholars have said of the virtuous and sensible man that he should be seen only in 2 places: and that no other befits him, either at the side of kings, honored, or among the devout, in worship. Like the elephant, whose beauty and splendor are fully revealed only in two situations, either in the wild or as the steed of kings. Kalila said, "May God guide you in what you have decided to undertake." And that brings our Kalila wa Dimna story to an end. As always in this book, it's not just an animal fable, but a mirror of our own choices, our character, and the way we live with others. The story stops here, but the reflection continues. Which character do you identify with the most in this tale? What would you have done in their place? Tell me in the comments. I really love reading your interpretations. If you enjoyed this story and you'd like to keep exploring the wisdom of Kalila wa Dimna with me, you can subscribe to the channel, like the video, and watch the other stories in the playlist.
وأمر